to prove.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there's no bigger motivation. This applies to Cole Palmer as well, of course, than missing out on the national side and then having a point to prove, definitely, for Thomas Tuchel. There was a free kick given the way of City. Doku takes it. Haaland's in! It's just wide of the mark, over the bar there from the Norwegian talisman. Really good ball from Jeremy Doku. There's been a lot of criticism over the Belgian for the birth of his child, but also his final ball. And there he gets the final ball absolutely right. Picks his spot right between that corridor of space between Calafiori and Gabriel. Finds Haaland, but he spoons it there, the Norwegian, inside of the foot, digs underneath the ball, and it's comfortably over the crossbar. Raya untroubled.
You watch it, especially on the replay back, he hits it, he spoons it over, but as he hits it, he just bobbles perfectly in a bad way up, doesn't it? So that's unfortunate for Haaland. That's poor though from Arsenal. City can't take advantage of playing out from the back there, and a little bit sloppy from the Gunners. But that's, you're right, Doku's, everyone's had again, but he's so young, and me as well, I'm not saying everyone, myself included, he's only 24, so, and he's been at City, I want to say 3 years, so now you're expecting that's where he's got everything, and this season he put it together. He scored that great goal against Everton, didn't he? And he had some really good games at the back end of last season, and you could see that final ball was improving, and once he gets that, I think he could have a standout season.
Absolutely. Looking for a standout first half as Arsenal have come forward. Now Madueke's got a one-on-one against Vardiel. Chops inside, gets the shot away. This time Donnarumma does save it. You can almost sense the nerves in that City defence, can't you? The offside flag up anyway. But even Donnarumma diving there, a little bit hesitant. City playing the offside trap, still gunning to get themselves back. And it's not the assured Manchester City that we're used to. I mean, a lot will be said, and a lot has been said in this commentary about the changeover, the transition between Guardiola and Maresca, with the former Leicester and Chelsea man coming in to the dugout. But one thing you're really used to seeing from Manchester City is that sort of self-assured possession, confident, arrogant side even, and that's no criticism. But I'm even finding myself thinking and watching this City side from the back and thinking, Arsenal are pressing and it's working. In days gone by, City would pass the ball around you and be clean through in about a second. But now they've got the defence to do it again because Arsenal are in again. It's Zolis for his competitive debut. Terrible ball. Calafiori dives. That's a penalty. No, it's not. Simulation given by Samuel Barrett and a yellow card for Calafiori. I tell you what, they're going to have about 10 minutes to look at this one because I don't think me or you, Lewis, could make up our minds in real time. We thought the penalty being given. The referee blew his whistle straight away. Let's have a look. Oh, they're going to have a long look at this, I think. It's Kusnov who dives in, he pulls out. There's a small bit of contact on the knee. Knowing the standard of officiating from referees in the domestic competitions in England, this might take a while, but I'm not sure if VAR are even reviewing this. I mean, it'd be good to see the referee be told to stick with his convictions, but I think it was maybe worthy of a check.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think it was worthy of definitely of a check. I mean, he had a quick word about the Gabriel. Looking for a foul. So if you're looking at that, you definitely have to have a look. Just from the camera angle, of course, we're looking from that broadcast view. It looked a penalty all day long, didn't it? Because Kusnov went in. You always look at, has the ball changed direction, so the defender's got a touch on it. It didn't, so it just looked like a penalty straight away. Obviously, Samuel Barrett's got a much better view than us. I watching it back, I do agree with him. But it's one of them where it's such a thing that probably that's been given by someone before. So that's where the problems do lie in what's a penalty and what's not.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think maybe it's been waved away so quickly because Calafiori might be going down before the contact's actually made. I mean, wouldn't shock you from an Arsenal defender, but at the same time, there was a bit of contact. So I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised, in fact, that they haven't spent an age checking it. But surprised all the same, as Diaz is on the ball, the City captain. Largely at fault for the second goal scored by Kai Havertz. Lays it over to the right-hand side for Antoine Semenyo. He's not really been given the freedom of that right-hand side by Arsenal. Solis perhaps a better defensive winger. Doku now has a bit of freedom, but quickly 4 red shirts in behind him. Now it's Haaland! Great save! Could fall to someone in blue. It was O'Reilly closest to it. A clutch challenge coming in from Mosquera. David Raya at the double, denying Haaland twice. Still though, City come forward. Foden slips into Semenyo. Can he find the ball? Dinks it backwards. Good chance. Oh, it's over the bar. City could have had a goal to pull one back. They haven't. It's a fantastic block by Ben White to bounce it into the ground and over the crossbar. City corner. 2 big chances go amiss.
Oh, that's some that's City at the finest, at finding a bit of a groove. It's a great ball from Semenyo, and that's where what you need. Well, if you've got someone on the right wing, if Doku's on the left, you need that other winger in there, don't you? Off because Foden's pulled out. That ball from Doku to find Haaland is beautiful. Raya as well, he's got all his weight to his left. I mean, I'm sure Haaland will look and go, oh, could I have found the corner a bit better? But I think if he finds it any other further to the left, it's blocked. But that block from Ben White from Doku strike, as you say, is absolutely world-class corner for City.
Anderson will take it. Is it going to be on the money from the man who came for big money? It's not. It's knocked away by Mosquera. Now Kusanov, inside ball. Good bit of passing there. Good feet from Kovacic. He'll have a go from range. He's no stranger to a spectacular effort. That one not quite matched with technique as it was with idea. And dragged wide, but Raya will hold on to it anyway. Gets the countdown from the referee, so rolls it out 5 yards into the feet of Mosquera, who's not really had much involvement as he signed from Valencia, was it a couple of seasons ago, last season maybe, and relatively little money, I think under £20 million or there or thereabouts, but he stepped in today and he's had a decent start to the game, fairly quiet, but that's what you want from your centre-halves really. The ball now breaks for Arsenal, forward they come, they'd love a third. Madueke driving forward, cuts inside, takes it on, strike comes in. Donnarumma there catches it comfortably, but he's a long way to the left-hand side of his goal there, the Italian. He's not looked at all comfortable, has he? The former AC Milan man and PSG goalkeeper. And that one there, again, easy save in the end, so I won't go on about it. But he's still out of position, not settled in between the sticks.
No, he hasn't, and unfortunately, and I'm not saying every goalkeeper has to be David Raya, Edison, Alisson-esque. I think what City do miss is Edison, in goal, because he was such an important part of the build-up that it was like having a midfielder in goal. It really was, and I really do think that he could have probably played in midfield, could Edison, at least to a decent level, I have to be honest. So when you do lose that, you do lose a bit of build-up. If you put Donnarumma in the Arsenal goal and David Raya in the City goal, you would see a bit of difference in how they can play out from the back. That's why Arsenal are so happy to play around their own goal and beat your press, whereas City want to get it in the middle, and then you've already lost a little bit of space, haven't you? But then obviously the hope is that, well, Donnarumma will save us so many goals this year, but then when what happens with Havertz's header, you go, Edison might have saved that, and it'd give us a bit better options passing out from the back. So he's found it awkward, I think, at City, has Donnarumma, just how the Premier League is. But here come Arsenal again, as you said, in search of a third.
Madueke, easy ball for Ben White, who has so much time to pick out a cross, back stick, volley comes in, it's over the bar from Calafiori, looking for his double. City all at sea. I mean, I mentioned that their fullbacks aren't getting forward in that flat back four. Arsenal certainly are. Calafiori, of course, scored the opening goal. And here, it's right back to left back. Ben White overlapping. He's not picked up by either O'Reilly or Gvardiol, both of whom are essentially playing as left backs for Manchester City. Neither do there. Crossfield ball. Calafiori also unmarked. Maybe should do a bit better. I mean, he's got great finishing for a defender, Calafiori. We saw that, of course, inside 23 seconds of this game. But that one, I think if he goes a cross goal rather than trying to leather it into the top corner of the near post, he might well score. Poor ball again from Donnarumma. There you go, proving your point. He's not good with his feet. And Maresca has actually said in the last couple of days that they're looking for ways to adapt to Donnarumma's style of play, i.e. Can't pass the ball. I mean, they let Trafford go, didn't they, after they signed him for big money, gone for big money to Leeds, so they've not lost money there. But I think he's much better with the ball at his feet, is James Trafford, compared to the Italian. You can talk about shot stopping all you want, but at the end of the day, if you're a side who have all the ball, you're not really going to be peppered with shots for the most part of the game. I mean, even in this one, they're 2-0 down at Man City, but I think Arsenal probably only have 4 shots. Here comes Doku. He's tackled by Mosquera. That'll be a corner kick to come. City need a goal before half-time, or they need one inside 10 of the second half, because Arsenal will shut up shop. They're having a flurry of chances, Arsenal, because City have been wasteful with the ball. They've been able to break a lot more. I think Arteta, perhaps... maybe missing Guardiola a little bit, sort of the Batman to his Joker, that he needs that rivalry. So far it's been a bit too easy for Arsenal really to pick about City.
I think that's what you spoke about as well with Haaland and Gabriel. I think they bring the best out of each other. It was Guardiola and Klopp, wasn't it? Then it became Guardiola and Arteta. Those enemies bring the best out of each other. Here comes a corner.
Easy claim for Raya again. He is so astute, that, isn't he? Ironically, for the first time ever, I've just seen David Raya shaking in disappointment because his side have won a free kick defending a corner. I think he wanted to get on with things quickly. Well, that's a bit of medicine to swallow for the Arsenal keeper, who again is asking to go along with it. Gabriel gets the shout and then passes it on to Mosquera. I think Raya just eating up the time here before the 45 is up, with half a minute away from that point, so we'll have to see how much added time we get. In front of a packed out crowd at the Principality, about 80,000 people in there, I imagine, or close to it anyway, as Arsenal go all the way back to David Raya after he took the goal kick long. They are just so machine-like the Gunners, in how they dismantled teams without really having a finger laid upon them. City have forced Roya in some good saves, Haaland particularly, the number 9, but in terms of a barrage of chances, it's been lacking from the side, looking to try and bounce back under new management as Doku receives the ball from Foden. He's dropping too deep for my liking. He just can't get forward, and it's easy in the end. White stands still, Doku hits the ball into the defender's legs, and now Arsenal will counter. And that's pretty symptomatic of what we've seen in this first half from City. Madueke inside to Odegaard. Is he going to try his luck from range? He won't. He'll pass it on to Havertz. I mean, Arsenal have won this game without really playing a striker up top as Havertz inverts, crosses it in. That'll fall to Odegaard. It should be 3. It's on the line. It's cleared off the line. It should be 3. It's still alive here. Backwards it goes. Held alive by, I think it's Madueke steers one. In fact, it's Guimaraes. Then back to Madueke. I mean, City are crying out for the offside flag to go up. I think it might have at this point, because the players reached a standstill. 1 minute added on. The offside flag hasn't gone up. Everyone's at a bit of a standstill here. Arsenal can't believe they've not got a third, but will be content 2-0 at half time. Odegaard gives the ball away. I mean, how on earth Arsenal didn't score there is beyond me.
I mean, it felt like City were in slow motion
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, you thought Odegaard, he was given all the time in the world to get on the rebound. Once again, poor from Donnarumma. Yes, Vardy cleared it, but it looked like I said he was in slow motion. Poor half from City.
And that is the half-time whistle. The 1 minute of added time is up. It's Arsenal who are in cruise control. They lead Manchester City 2-0 at the break. Second half coming up shortly.
Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half-time at the Principality in this season's curtain raiser of the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds, a cool finish from the Italian Calafiore, and the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard, backstick Zolis to Nusama Sane, nodding it back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz, as Arsenal were comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half-time. Goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half-time at the Principality in this season's curtain raiser of the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds, a cool finish from the Italian Calafiore, and the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard, backstick Zolis to Nusama Sane, nodding it back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz, as Arsenal were comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half-time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half-time at the Principality in this season's curtain raiser of the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds, a cool finish from the Italian Calafiore, and the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard, backstick Zolis to Nusama Sane, nodding it back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz, as Arsenal were comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, and they lead 2-0 at half-time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half-time at the Principality in this season's curtain raiser of the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds, a cool finish from the Italian Calafiore, and the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. Season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard. Back stick Zullis to do some assigning. Not into back for Havertz. Poor keeping and poor movement from Diaz. As Arsenal comfortable in that first half. Foden threatened, but they lead 2-0 at half time. Thanks to goals from Calafiore and Havertz, Arsenal lead Manchester City 2-0 at half time at the Principality. This season's curtain raiser on the 26-27 season. A dominant first half of the Gunners, scoring inside 23 seconds. A cool finish from the Italian Calafiore. And the second was a lovely ball in from Odegaard.
Here's Veltman and Ward-Prowse. We're underway at 4 p.m. at Turf Moor between Burnley and West Ham. The team uses in from Turf Moor for this afternoon's championship clash between Burnley and West Ham. And there are changes in both camps, starting with Burnley, where on loan Manchester City defender Max Allain goes straight into Nicky Haynes' starting 11 as one of the only change actually from the 11 that laboured against Notts County in the Carabao Cup in midweek before getting through on penalties. So Burnley line up then with Weiss in goal, a back three of Walker, Allain and Humphreys, then Sonner, Medjbury, Raghuber and Brun Larsen across midfield, Edwards and Ramsey supporting the inform Zian Fleming up front. As for West Ham, Nuno Espirito Santo has made the one change there as well, as he brings in Manor Solomon, newly signed from Spurs, in for Edson Alvarez. So the Hammers go with Hermansen in goal, and the back four of Walker Peters, Mavropanos, Kilman and Scarles. Then Bowen, Orford, Solomon and Conte in midfield. Pablo and Castellanos the front two in a 4-4-2. On the bench for Burnley, on the bench for Burnley, it's Amdouni, Amos, Broja, Hantonji, Laurent, Lucas Perez, Sambo, Trezor and Worrell. And for West Ham it's Ajala, Areola, Diouf, Earthy, Golambekis, Landers, Myers, Veltman and Ward-Prowse. We're underway at 4 p.m. at Turf Moor between Burnley and West Ham. The team uses in from Turf Moor for this afternoon's championship clash between Burnley and West Ham. And there are changes in both camps, starting with Burnley, where on loan Manchester City defender Max Allain goes straight into Nicky Haynes' starting 11 as one of the only change actually from the 11 that laboured against Notts County in the Carabao Cup in midweek before getting through on penalties. So Burnley line up then with Weiss in goal, the back three of Walker, Allain and Humphreys, then Sonner, Medjbury, Raghuber and Brun Larsen across midfield, Edwards and Ramsey supporting the inform Zian Fleming up front. As for West Ham, Nuno Espirito Santo has made the one change there as well, as he brings in Manor Solomon, newly signed from Spurs, in for Edson Alvarez. So the Hammers go with Hermansen in goal, and the back four of Walker Peters, Mavropanos, Kilman and Scarles. Then Bowen, Orford, Solomon and Conte in midfield. Pablo and Castellanos the front two in a 4-4-2. On the bench for Burnley, on the bench for Burnley it's Amdouni, Amos, Broja, Hantonji, Laurent, Lucas Perez, Sambo, Trezor and Worrell. And for West Ham it's Ajala, Areola, Diouf, Earthy, Golambekis, Landers, Myers, Veltman and Ward-Prowse. Yeah, well, welcome along to Off-Tube studio-based commentary on this second championship match of this opening round, this opening Sunday of the championship season, and we are just underway at Turf Moor, which I have to say is not anywhere near full for a clash between two probable promotion contenders this season, Burnley and West Ham. It's the Hammers who've had the ball since kick-off, and they move the ball across down to the right-hand side now with Jared Bowen, the England winger, back in the championship. Probably not where he thought or wanted to be, as the ball's cleared by Burnley up towards Hannibal Medjbury. He brings it clear of the penalty area, tries to spring a counter-attack down the left-hand side through Brun Larsen. The Dane's got some grass to run into now. The fullback's tracking back here as Brun Larsen drags him into the penalty area, puts a cross in towards the penalty spot. It's flicked over the bar by Zian Fleming, who almost got the perfect touch there to lob Hermansen. What a start for Burnley, but it remains 0-0.
What a
I should
start.
introduce you here. Sorry, Kieran. I'm Simon Barlow, joined by Kieran Graham for this afternoon's game. And Kieran, what a start.
Yeah, what a start. Like we were just gonna say, great start from Burnley down the left-hand side. There's a lot of quality on the show today on paper, isn't there? There's a lot of players who you look at and think Premier League players. I know you're a fan of Zian Fleming. He had a great season, was one of probably Burnley their best player last season. He scored goals despite the struggle last time out. We expect him to score goals this season if he stays. And then you look at West Ham, you've got so much quality. The likes of Bowen, Solomon, Castellanos, Mavropanos at the back, Walker Peters, so reliable. This is going to be a good game of football. Fingers crossed it's not a case of they're both hesitant because they know each other's quality. Hopefully they both go for it.
Yeah, well, these two sides warmed up for this game with Carabao Cup wins last week. West Ham at home to Portsmouth. They were stretched a little bit in that game, and Burnley played against Notts County. Weren't particularly good, I have to say. Notts County outplayed them at times in that match at Turf Moor, but they got through on penalties. They got the result they needed in the end. They have to improve on that, though, as now Raghuber tries to thread it through. Zian Fleming links it up and moves it wide to the left-hand side. It's Burnley on the attack again with a cross in from Brun Larsen, flicked on by Zian Fleming to the back post. They're trying to take up a chance here. Still with Edwards. Edwards in the penalty area, wriggling away. Then he slips, gets back to his feet, but the chance is gone. And Ollie Scarles clears for the Hammers, but they're deep in defence because it's all Burnley in the opening couple of minutes. The team who are wearing their claret shirts, white shorts and the claret socks today against the claret and blues, but they're in their sort of very pale blue or sort of sky blue away kit today, maybe even a sort of tinge of green in it, as Burnley have it again through Walker, socks rolled up over his knees into the feet of Medjbury, turns it round the corner to Sonner. The Peruvian plays it back along the line. It's kept in by Walker, but that's cleared by Mavropanos. Picked up in midfield by Raghuber, who's looked very impressive from what I've seen of him so far. It's a good ball from Fleming now to Ramsey. Ramsey goes for goal and he curls it just wide of target.
Yeah, they look good, the Burnley, don't they? So far in this one, look really sharp, driving forwards, and you're spot on. Raghuber in midfield, he's had a great start as the number 8, and Ramsey driving forwards. He's had a lot of injury problems over the last few years. A real talent. Fingers crossed he can stay fit. And like we said, the quality on show for these two sides, attacking wise especially, we expect chances to fly today.
Yeah, there must be something cursed about that name, Aaron Ramsey, for injuries, because his namesake suffered some terrible injuries during a career which only recently was called to a halt. We've got a throw in now on the right hand side for Burnley to be taken by Sonner, flicked on by Fleming. It's controlled by Conte, then brought down by Burnley. Chance for Edwards to cross, fires it across the 6-yard box, and some very diligent defending at the back stick by Kyle Walker-Peters, puts it behind for a Burnley corner.
Yeah, Burnley corner, great ball whipped in across the face of goal from the right side by Ramsey again, and Walker-Peters has to get it spot on, because as he goes to clear it, loses footing, which means his clearance could go absolutely anywhere. He could have just absolutely smashed that into the back of his own net, but he puts it behind for a corner. Great start from Nicky high inside.
Yeah, high energy and real purpose in the opening stages from the home side in front of the banks of home fans. Now corners be taken from the left by Hannibal Mejbri. Pablo's got back in defence to try and mark Zian Fleming at the back post, and the referee's not happy with what he's seen there. There's hands on Pablo's chest there from Fleming, who's not happy with the sort of hand fighting that's been going on. Referee is just pointing at somebody, I presume it's that duo. Referee's Josh Smith today, and the corner's not going to be taken from anywhere near the quadrant by Mejbri, so that's an interesting one. He floats it in towards the back post, and it's way overhit beyond everybody in claret and goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, not a great corner from Hannibal Mejbri. You wonder how long it's going to be till he gets involved in the scrapping side of things.
I saw the game against Notts County last week in the Carabao Cup first round, and Mejbri's set piece delivery was consistently bad throughout the entire game. And I'm thinking, if he doesn't improve, they're going to have to put somebody else on free kicks and corners, because everyone was either overhit or underhit. And now we've got a free kick for a foul on Kyle Walker by Tati Castellanos, the striker. And this is sort of just midway between the halfway line and the penalty area. It goes back to Weiss, Claret's goalkeeper. And now long ball forward from Max Allain. He's the new signing this week. In fact, one of a couple of new signings this week. Max Allain, a young Manchester City defender. Saw him in the derby last season, actually, for City. Very inexperienced backline they put out in a 2-0 defeat at Old Trafford. Did have a previous loan spell at Watford where he did very well, actually, so he's got that sort of championship experience as well. That's a good ball down the line for West Ham, and they try and counter-attack here through Manor Solomon. The Israeli tiptoes the edge of the box, still going here, going really well, Manor Solomon. Then he just gets one touch too many and gives the ball away, but that was positive from him on his Hammers debut, and he's involved again now as he moves it wide to Ollie Scarles high up on the left-hand side. Nice little triangle with Conte and Solomon. Conte lopes towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to thread it through there. It's Pablo, back heel from Tati Castellanos. Nice football from West Ham, releasing Jared Bowen. Shooting opportunity for him. He drives it into a crowd of bodies on his strong left foot, and it's cleared away by Burnley. But finally West Ham start to attack in this game.
Yeah, their first chance, and it was twinkle toes from Manor Solomon. We know he can do it in this league, in the season where Leeds with Centurions, you see a ball whipped in to everybody. When there were Centurions, he had double digits goals, double digits assists. That's how impactful he was. He was such a big part of Leeds winning the league, and of course he scored the goal that won them the league. They were moments away from finishing second to Burnley. So let's see if he can haunt them again today.
Good ball through, and there's a chance here for Edwards trying to run behind Scarles, whose recovery pace is just good enough to scrape a back pass to Hermansen. But again, it's Burnley looking good on the counter-attack, and it was Mejbri's ball on that occasion. Maybe just lacked a little bit of pace to get it through, but he was probably scared about Hermansen coming off his line. Really promising start to the game. Played 7.5 minutes, and we've had chances. Well, we've had good attacking moments at both ends. West Ham haven't really threatened Weiss's goal, but certainly Hermansen has been concerned with 1 or 2 balls into his box as well. Like I say, these two teams probably expected to contest the automatic promotion places in terms of budgets. There won't be many with bigger budgets in the Championship this season. It goes back to Hermansen. In fact, I think it's fair to say West Ham will have the biggest budget in the Championship, right?
Yeah, which you wouldn't have guessed with what they've done so far. I mean, they've brought in Joel Veltman on a free, that's about it, and Manuel Solomon for not too much, so that's got to pick up. Today there's been strong reports coming out about bringing in guaranteed goals in the Championship in Joel Pirro, really, from Leeds, who's way down the pecking order. He's third choice with Leeds wanting another striker as well, so he has to move on. If you was any Championship club, you would have him within the roster.
Humphreys, ball over the top, looking for Zian Fleming, but that one's too strong and runs through to Hermansen, once of Leicester City. And he's rolled. He came for a big fee, of course, probably the start of last season. And displaced Alphonse Areola, who is on the bench for West Ham today. For me, Areola, the better keeper. I mean, I don't know what Nuno Espirito Santo sees wrong with him, but he prefers Hermansen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely was of that opinion at a certain stage last season, but Hermansen, he grew into the role when he got given it back, and he wasn't bad at all at the end of last season. I don't know. I think 50-50 for me. I edge it towards Hermansen.
Here's West Ham on the attack as Walker-Peters plays it back to Orford, whose crosses high towards the back post. Scarles keeps it in. Ball fed back into the penalty area. Tati Castellanos with a bit of magic trying to feed Pablo, and a shot deflected behind for a corner.
Yeah, never got it going, did Pablo, when he was brought in January last season. Didn't make the impact that was needed, did the Brazilian, and they're going to trust him again this season, it seems. First chance for him, who's off balance, leading back, like I said, falling over, and he wins a corner.
Yeah, well, he's a hard worker, isn't he? Just doesn't have that sort of goal threat about him that he'd want from a striker, but Tati Castellanos certainly does, as here comes the corner from Bowen, aimed in towards the back post. A free header, it's gone into the back of the net, and West Ham take the lead. It's Max Kilman with a goal.
Yeah, Max Kilman with the header at the back post, a moment that probably he needed, because he's really struggled in his time at West Ham. He's had a lot of stick from those West Ham fans from their time in the Premier League, but there's Max Kilman with the header. And when we talk about the importance of set pieces at the other end, Hannibal Mesbury with some terrible deliveries, this one's spot on from West Ham. It's Jared Bowen, who we expect to be involved in a lot of goals this season. Well, he's already got his first assist, and that's a mismatch. You've got to question the planning from Burnley, because they've got Ramsey marking the big Max Kilman. I mean, that's such bad thinking and planning. It is untrue.
Yeah, it is a mismatch. He's actually holding on to his shirt as well. If that had been cleared off the line, they'd have had claims for a penalty as well, because he's clearly got a big fistful of Max Kilman's shirt, but it goes in anyway, despite the fact there's a man on the line as well. I mean, I've got to say, I'm a bit puzzled at what Burnley are doing from that defensive corner situation. Here's another chance for West Ham, though, trying to stretch the field, getting the ball up towards Castellanos, but it just wriggles away, or runs away on I think quite a wet surface at Turf Moor. I'm not sure if it's rained today in the northwest. It has in Yorkshire, but this pitch has been well watered as well. But yeah, the defenders were more concerned than Mavropanos. That was a decoy run to the near post. The corner was perfectly delivered to the back post, and a firm header in from Kilman gives West Ham the lead inside 10 minutes in this Championship clash. He's an ex-Wolves man, like Nuno Espirito Santo. I'm not sure they ever crossed paths there at Molineux. I think they might have done, but obviously Nuno had gone before West Ham signed Max Kilman from memory. Anyway, here's a throw in to the penalty area from West Ham, cleared away by the Clarets, kept in though by Orford, and West Ham controlling things from the back now with Mavropanos. Orford again, looking lively in the early stages as he moves it to Conte, and he sweeps it across the left hand side for Scarles. Some young legs in this West Ham side now as the ball's chipped out to the right hand side for Bowen, who just about gets it under control, then it just runs away from him and goes behind for a corner for a goal kick to Burnley.
Yeah, not a great first touch from Jared Bowen, just gets away from him, goes behind for a goal kick. But yeah, Nicky Hine on the touchline, the coach of Burnley, looking a little bit frustrated so far, because they had a good start, didn't they, in the opening 5 or 6 minutes. Jared Bowen steps in, wins it back, and a second chance from him, but here come Burnley. Yeah,
on the attack now with Brun Larson. He's up against the last defender, Mavropanos, slides it in towards Edwards, who plays it back to Ramsey, who shoots wide.
He's put it wide. What a chance. Really good play from Burnley. They got a bit fortunate in the build-up because of the sliding challenge from Jared Bowen. It just broke back towards Ramsey, who played almost the 1-2 with Jakob Brun-Larsen. Well, it fell back to him in the end. It was a lovely back heel from Marcus Edwards to him, but he's leaning back as he goes to hit it with his left foot straight away. He slips as he goes to hit it as well, so he puts it way wide.
Well, he's had a couple of sighters now, hasn't he, Aaron Ramsey? One with his right, one with his left there as he was slipping. Hasn't found the target with either. Burnley need a bit more precision in their finishing today if they're to get back on terms. But it's West Ham who still lead through that Kilman header. Playing it around the back now with Mavropanos, who was an Arsenal player a few seasons ago. Gets it again now, Mavropanos, and knocks it sideways to Walker-Peters. As West Ham just playing around at the back. Goal scorer Kilman finds Mavropanos, now wide to Bowen. First time pass in with his left foot is headed clear by Humphreys. And now, I found it might have been a lane there as they come again here. West Ham, Pablo linking up with Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters inverted. Now back wide to Pablo. Corner of the penalty area. Cross goes in. Too strong and just drifting towards goalkeeper Weiss, who can pick it up. 15 minutes gone. Burnley are getting some joy, but not putting the ball on target is an issue. Probably scored a few more goals than many thought last season in the Premier League, although they went down. Keeping goals out was one of their main issues. And there have been some big changes in defence. Kyle Walker looks like he's playing right side of a back three today, so it's like change in shape. Sonner pushed up high on the right hand side as the right wing back, and Brun-Larsen looks like he's playing as a left wing back as things stand. Walker, two men on him, and he's lost the ball there. Manor Solomon pressed him and gets it, and then he's dragged back by Hannibal Mejbri. Play continues because West Ham have an attacking situation here. It's back with Solomon, teasing Walker again now, but tight to the touchline with help from Edwards. Still going really well is Manor Solomon. He's strong and he's got through another challenge and he goes down, fouled by Mejbri. That's brilliant play from the Israeli.
Yeah, unbelievable from Manor Solomon, who's looked sharp, hasn't he, in this opening 15 and a half minutes. He looks so good. Close control. I mean, I've seen a load of Manor Solomon, especially in this league. I'm not surprised to see him causing all sorts of problems for this Burnley defence. He's going to have some fun, especially, I mean, like I said, if they do bring in Joel Pirro, knows him very well. I mean, they combined as probably the two top goal scorers in that lead side, so yeah, so important. And what a link up that could be when you've got Castellanos and Bowen as well to work with.
Well, he scored from the last set piece, and West Ham have another good attacking situation now. Free kick over on the left corner of the penalty area. Solomon's one of the interested parties to take this one. They got Kilman, Pablo, Castellanos all in the box. Mavropanos comes in and Mavropanos heads it over the bar. Couldn't quite get the purchase he wanted to get it on target.
Yeah, dangerous from set pieces. Mavropanos is one that I was quite surprised to see still here by this stage of the season, because he looked good last season for West Ham in the Premier League as well. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of interest, and when that interest ramps up, maybe heads may turn. But yeah, for West Ham fans, it must be pleasing to see quite a few of these players who are good enough to move on are staying for now.
I think he signed a new contract midway through last season, Konstantinos Mavropanos. And that was whilst they were in that sort of relegation scrap. So clearly, you know, being committed to the club was there, even though the threat of relegation was looming over them. It's a long ball forward from Walker, pinged into the channel. No chance there that Sonner would reach that one. He gave up his run and it just runs behind for a goal kick. Yeah, Kyle Walker, the Burnley captain, misplacing that pass. Now West Ham setting up for a short goal kick, played back to Hermansen, who now goes long up towards the halfway line, trying to pick out Bowen, who tries to bring it under control with his knee, and all he can do is help it out of play for a throw in to Burnley. Humphreys is going to take it. In fact, he's stolen a few yards and the referee's telling him to get back. Well, he seems happy where it's going to be taken from, but time is ticking on here. He can't wait too longer because the This is a long time before he eventually throws it in to Fleming. Fleming gets it out of his feet with a first-time pass across the pitch. Intercepted by Scars. Scars now plays it to Solomon. Solomon's got the run here on the left-hand side. Challenge comes in from Medjbury. This time it's a good tackle from the Tunisian. And he wins the ball cleanly and carries it clear. Up towards the halfway line. Now a ball over the top, looking for the run of Brun Larsen. Brun Larsen trying to get in between the defend and goalkeeper. It's heading back towards goal. And Hermansen's off his line. And it's going to go just wide. Well, that was very bright play from Sonner in the end to try and catch Hermansen out, but he just headed maybe a yard or two wide.
Yeah, it could have been a comical moment in this run over the top. I didn't mind Hermansen coming for it, but his clearance wasn't the best. Just bounced off the head of the Peruvian and goes wide, and you could tell it was going wide by Kyle Walker-Peters' reaction when he saw where the ball was going, because he was happy to just move away from it. But yeah, I mean, warning signs, definitely.
Humphreys gets challenged there by Castellanos as he played a back pass to Weiss, but he's back on his feet at Humphreys and trying to link up down the left-hand side with Raghuber. Ball out off Bowen's foot for a throw-in to the Clarets. David Moyes, the Everton manager, is watching on from the stands today.
Yeah, I wonder if he's looking at any potential transfer targets.
Ex-West Ham manager, of course, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe he is trying to pick the bones out of a West Ham squad that came down. He'll know a lot of these players very well. There's a interception from Bowen. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's got some very strong family ties. The ball played through, looking for Fleming. It was Edwards who tried to release him, but ball cut out there by the aforementioned Mavropanos, and now Walker-Peters knocks it back to Orford. I mean, David Moyes, he does do a lot of his own scouting. It's possible he is looking at a player today, but it's also possible he's just coming to watch a game because he's a complete football addict.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm just thinking of players that maybe would suit. I mean, he'd love to have Bowen, but Bowen signed a new contract and has already announced that he will be staying, and he's adamant that it's not because of the family ties, but no matter what he says in these interviews, we know that deep down it'll be quite the big factor.
As Walker-Peters knocks it back to Mavropanos on the edge of the Hammers box. Now Kilman slides it wide to Scars. First time pass into the feet of Conte. I mean, he could be the sort of player that David Moyes is interested in. Mamadou Conte. I think he may have just been at West Ham when Moyes was there. Now a long ball forward from Mavropanos, trying to pick out the run down the left-hand side of Scars, who's pushed up high on that side. He's got Sonner ahead of him. Now feeds it to Solomon, the live wire Israeli. Plays it back to Scars again. And now Conte, edge of the penalty area on his right foot, thinking about a shot, threads it through. Stopped by Medjbury, who calmly passes out now. Finds Ramsey. Ramsey's ball back to Raghuber, and he chips it over the top into space for Edwards to run onto. Can't keep it in though. Maybe just lost a little bit of pace, Marcus Edwards, and he couldn't quite keep that one in.
Yeah, hasn't got firing at Burnley, Marcus Edwards, has he, since being brought in from Sporting Lisbon? Quite a highly rated winger from his time in Portugal, and obviously came through the ranks at Spurs. But yeah, need to get him involved a bit more.
As West Ham start from the back again. Orford plays it square to Kilman, whose goal separates the sides. Now with Mavropanos threaded through to Castellanos. There's a ball down the right hand side into the channel for Pablo, but over to cover there was Lane. He knocks it out for a throw in to West Ham. Got pretty tough start to the campaign actually, Burnley. Looking at their fixture list, they played quite a lot of the fancied promotion sides in the opening weeks of the campaign, and although they are at home, this game isn't going their way at the moment, as Walker-Peters is yet to take his throw in. The referee's telling him to hurry up now. Now he drops it into Bowen, gets it back, tries to play a very delicate ball, which he didn't manage to Castellanos. It bounces off his knees, and it's won back by Bowen. Does really well, and he wriggles past one challenge, still goes, and maybe a chance here for Castellanos to follow up. Cross comes in, but it had gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, good pressure from West Ham, and really good work again from Jared Bowen, who's forcing mistakes on that far side. He's doing his fair share of defensive work, which we know Nuno he's all about. Burnley back in possession.
And the ball now played back to Vice. So we've reached the midway point of the first half. It remains Burnley 0, West Ham 1. To take you through to half time, it's going to be Kieran Graham.
Yes, thank you very much, Size. We now see Kyle Walker in possession. He's the right centre half in this system. Forward ball into Rahuba. Plays it forward into Hannibal Mejri. Tries to turn away. If anything, he fouled his man there, and it's a good spot from the referee. Orford winning the free kick. He's been very involved so far. Hannibal Mejri defensively has been okay in possession. You can't really say the same. As we now see the cameras linger on Jared Bowen. It really is interesting to see what he could potentially do in the Championship this season. Will he go and score about 20 goals? Or will it be a bit more of a let-down season? Well, he's already got an assist to his name, Bowen, who goes all the way back towards Mavropanos. Now it's going to be the goal scorer, Max Kilman. Like we said, such an important goal for him. You can see the elation on his face when he grabbed that one. Scales plays it into the middle for Manor Solomon. All the way to the right for Pablo, who's took way too long in possession. Mavropanos again. He's got options to the left. He goes to that side as well. He finds Max Kilman now. Kilman goes to Scales. Kante turns away from Hannibal Mejri, and this is just sustained possession for West Ham, who have the lead, and Burnley just can't get close to them at the moment. Walker Peters finds Jared Bowen in towards Orford. Picks a nice pass for Pablo. Pablo once again in possession. He's got options to the left, doesn't use them, goes to the right hand side for Walker Peters. He then finds Kante, back to Walker Peters once again, and this is just very slow, very controlled from the West Ham. Burnley cannot get a foot in at all. Ball to the left for Scales. Solomon back to Scales. That's a nice 1-2 between those two, but Scales doesn't fancy his chances going forward, so turns around and goes all the way back. And once again, they just carry on looking after the ball, and this is just a very dominant period, probably the most dominant period of the game from West Ham. Mavropanos switches it to the left, and that's a little bit overhit. And Burnley needed that because they weren't going to put a foot in themselves.
Yeah, they're looking a little bit just overmatched at the moment, aren't they? Burnley, West Ham's slick football since they've taken the lead is a little bit too good for them, and you kind of worry for them at the moment. Unless they can get a foot in the game, get a foothold in midfield particularly, they're going to concede more goals.
You now see the ball at the back with Elena. And it's with Sonnet on the right hand side. He picks the pass for Kyle Walker again. Back into the youngster, Elaine. In the middle for Mejri. Looks to turn away from Orford, and he does so. Plays a nice ball to the left hand side, and that's better from Burnley. Here's Jakob Brun-Larsen, who's always wanted to dart at his fullback. Jared Bowen puts a foot in. Doesn't have too much help though, so the attack still is alive. Hannibal goes down, picks the pass for Edwards, who's driving forwards. He finds it into the penalty area, and a striker goal from Ramsey. This time he does find the target, but a simple save.
Yeah, it was nearer to a back pass than a shot, wasn't it, from Ramsey in the end? But he got into a good position, and Mejbri's close control got them through a couple of times there. Edwards also feeding the pass to Ramsey. They look to be linking up quite well. But on that occasion, the effort was tame.
Yeah, tame effort from Ramsey, who's had a few chances so far in this one. Forward ball from Kilman's a really poor one. Here's Mejri, puts it through the legs of Kante. He's claiming he got fouled, nothing given once again. He's getting frustrated with the referee. No surprise there. Kyle Walker Peters goes down the right hand side for Jared Bowen. Back to Walker Peters again. And West Ham once again are just looking to slow things down. We now see Kilman goes to the left hand side for Ollie Scales, who's driving forwards. Goes back to Solomon. Kante now. In for Solomon. Looks to turn away from Sonnet. Gives him a little nudge, but it's good defending from the Peruvian. And then cleared away by Kyle Walker. Only as far as Max Kilman, who takes a terrible touch. Allows Fleming to step in, and it's a lovely back heel from Fleming. And that's a nice touch from Edwards, who was taken down. It's going to be a free kick. Should probably be a yellow card then. I'm not sure it's going to get given in the end. I think Edwards has literally just said no booking. How? To the referee, as it was a bit of a kick through from Orford that stopped a real promising counter attack.
Yeah, it was a bit wild from Orford, and the referee's been really lenient there, hasn't he, with the West Ham youngster not to put his name in the book.
Yeah, we see them back on the attack now on the right hand side. It's a decent ball in from Sonnet. Good goalkeeping though from Hermansen, who of course does have experience in winning this league with Leicester City. It's now going to be with Mavropanos for Kyle Walker-Peters. Goes all the way back to man-to-man once again. 28 minutes on the clock. If you are just tuning in, it is Burnley 0, West Ham United 1, thanks to a header from Max Kilman that separates these two sides at the moment. You see the ball all the way back towards Orford, who stood in between the two centre-halves, almost as a quarterback in this moment. As we now see Mavropanos dinks it over the top, looking towards Jared Bowen, who's going to get there. Good first touch as well. He's up against Bashir Humphreys, whips it in, a great delivery, headed away by Elaine, and then Humphreys with the second header away as well. And Bowen can't get to the second pass. It's going to be intercepted, and Orford gets there, plays all the way back to Mavropanos, and then he finds Weiss. Weiss in towards Kilman, steps over the ball. Kilman now finds Solomon, who's been so dangerous at times, but we've not seen him too much in the final third, and that's a lovely turn from Solomon away from Edwards. He finds Scarles. Scarles in possession, all the way back for Conte once again. For Orford. So it's going to be Mavropanos to drive forwards. He's got Bowen to the left. He uses Jared Bowen as well, and Bowen hangs it into the penalty area. Not a great delivery from him. It's headed away back to the West Ham skipper, incidentally. Orford then finds it with Kilman. Kilman goes to the left. And we now see Kante turns away from his man once more. Looks towards Mavropanos. Finds Orford. Into Jared Bowen. Finds Kyle Walker-Peters as well. Orford back into the middle. It's just such sustained possession. Nothing's really happened over these last 10 minutes or so. It's just West Ham knocking it from left to right, right to left, and it's working. But that's a lovely ball from Kante into the penalty area for Solomon. Opens up, goes for goal. It's well blocked. It finds Castellanos in the area. He turns and goes for goal from a tight angle. Not a great effort, and it goes wide.
Yeah, a bit disappointed there that Manor Solomon's not done better in that situation. It's great movement and a fantastic flick pass from Kante to him. He's up against Kyle Walker. I mean, you've got to credit Kyle Walker for the defending there, I suppose, but I thought, Solomon against Walker in the penalty area like that, Solomon should be able to get a better shot away than the one he produced in the end. 30 minutes gone, though, and West Ham's patient play, although it did look a little bit sort of, they were just passing for passing's sake, it produced a good threaded ball in the end.
Yes, we now see the ball on the left-hand side with Burnley, who've got to get a grip of this game, because West Ham are certainly dominating in terms of having the ball over the last 10 minutes or so. It's almost like they're toying with Burnley at times, just knocking it around. We now see the ball in the centre with Elaine once more. He's got Bashir Humphreys for company, uses Humphreys once again, the former Chelsea academy man. It's going to be Elaine. Switch it to the right hand side with an overhit pass, and a pass like that kind of just sums it up for Burnley so far.
Yeah, they're looking on. They're looking quite, I don't know, just sort of lacking in leadership out there and a bit of direction. Some young defenders, Humphreys and Elaine next to Walker. I mean, it's up to Walker really, I think, to get hold of them and to get hold of the team as well a little bit more than he has been doing, because they're looking lost.
Yeah, they certainly are. They can't find any rhythm, and we've not seen much of Zion Fleming at all in this opening 31 minutes. He had that chance in the first 5, but since then he's barely had any touches. Nice touch from Kante. He doesn't keep it in play, gives away a cheap throw in the end, and Hannibal Mejbri slips as he goes over to take out to pick up the ball. So the finest of moments from the Tunisian, but we are back underway. Rough bet plays it to the right hand side. His pocket's being picked again. Pablo finds Kante to the left hand side for Solomon, who can get West Ham on the front foot. Picks a nice pass in the middle for Pablo. He's got space to drive into. There's space on the right hand side as well. It's a lovely little chip pass for Kyle Walker-Peters, who brings it down. He's got options ahead if he can find them. Turns away, finds Orford instead. Orford into Mavropanos. He then finds Max Kilman. Kilman in possession. Ball towards the penalty area. Pablo goes down. No free kick given in the end, despite claiming for it. And we now see Elaine driving forwards. He's been dragged down, and that's got to be a yellow card for Kante.
Yeah, he's. It's a professional foul from Mahamadou Kante, just pulling him back there as he was getting away. So, yeah, made no attempt to play the ball. Pretty easy decision for the referee.
Yeah, pretty simple decision.
He's been good in the game, I think, Mamadou Kante. What he's done on the ball and his work off the ball has been good as well. And, that's the manager's delight, that. I mean, taking a yellow card for the team, stopping a counter-attack that could have been dangerous as well.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Kante. We saw him a little bit last season in the Premier League. I saw him last week. I covered West Ham's cup game against Portsmouth, where they were torrid for 40 minutes and then just turned the game on its head completely. With some big moments from the likes of Castellanos. As we now see the ball on the edge of the penalty area with Ramsey, finds Brun Larsen, and that's a poor touch from Ruff Bear, who had a good start to this one. It's fizzled out for him a little bit over the last 15 minutes or so. Mavropanos clearance up towards Jared Bowen, well intercepted, and here's Zion Fleming now onto his right foot, still going himself, and he goes for goal, and he hooks it just wide. In the end, he looks to hook it across towards the far bottom corner, and it just misses the target. We were just saying he was getting a bit quiet. He was always going to shoot.
That was really close. Very close to the far post, actually, I think, with Hermansen at full stretch. But, yeah, it did go just wide. Hermansen may have had it covered. But, at least, there's some end product there from a Burnley attack, finally.
There's a nasty ball to the right-hand side for Mavropanos. He looks for Pablo. He looks to turn away from Humphreys, who followed him up the whole way. Kante, now ball to the left-hand side for Skulls. He's got Solomon ahead of him, uses him, and Solomon's forced all the way back. There's a bit of a clip at the ankles from Hannibal, but he can't stop him in his tracks. Now it's going to be Mavropanos. Finds the ball in the middle for Orford. Orford potentially to turn away now. Looks for a dink ball to the left-hand side, and a good ball as well towards the left boot of Skulls, who brings it down to perfection. Kante, I say brings it down to perfection. That is so sloppy. Skulls was actually offside.
Yeah, disappointing from Espirito Santo's point of view. The attack broke down there, but he can't be too unhappy with how they've passed the ball today. I think they've really shown some quality to Burnley in the way they've moved the ball and kept possession.
Yeah, Ruffbert with a poor ball in the midfield, and Zion Fleming did not know that he had a man behind him. And here come West Ham on the counter-attack. It's Pablo, turns onto his right boot, plays it in the middle for Solomon, and Walker Peters is in acres of space in the penalty area. Looks across the face goal for Jared Bowen, who goes down, claiming he's been fouled. Nothing given, no penalty. And that was a decent chance for West Ham, but here come Burnley straight at the other end on the counter. Hannibal Mejbri has an option to the left, uses Ramsey, heavy first touch. Walker Peters tries to step in, but he picks the pass for Edwards, who's under pressure from Mavropanos, who's very physical in the challenge, and a fair challenge at that.
Yeah, West Ham stole the ball away there. Manor Solomon got back, and then he sprung the counter-attack as well. Good ball out to the right for Walker Peters, who fizzed it in, a really inviting cross, and Bowen in a central position. Did have two defenders around him, went down but didn't get the decision.
Here's Ramsey coming forwards, cuts onto his stronger right foot every single time. Humphreys finds Edwards, who looks to get the better of his man. Edwards driving forwards, goes onto his right boot, turns away from his man, finds Brun Larsen, who looked to hit the pass in the little pocket space for Mejbri, but it's deflected away. Brun Larsen cuts inside, his cross is blocked again. Not great from him on a couple of occasions, the Dane, but it is. Can it be third time lucky for him as he gets into the penalty area? Looks to cut the ball back, and a strike on the edge of the box from the midfielder. Ruffbert, he puts it miles over the bar first time.
Yeah, he skied it on his left foot. I don't think that's his strongest side. He was under a bit of pressure as well. We're just seeing a replay of the penalty shout. Two defenders, Bowen and meeting a sandwich. Don't think there's a foul there. They were blocking his progress, but I don't think, they get a foot on the ball, and Bowen's not really close enough to dispute it. So for me, no penalty, and the referee clearly didn't feel so either.
Yeah, no penalty in the end. Ball on the right-hand side with Walker Peters. He finds Mavropanos. 37 minutes on the clock. Still 1-0 to West Ham. Pablo driving forwards. Had an option in Walker Peters. Didn't have the confidence to play the pass. And he's forced all the way back to the midfield in Orford. Switches play for Max Kilman. Now see Skulls. Finds Manor Solomon, who looks to turn away from his man. Solomon driving forwards. Plays it to the right-hand side for Mavropanos, who's in possession. Finds Walker Peters. Mavropanos again on the ball. Finds Orford. And this is where West Ham have been really clever in this one, having the lead. They've looked after the ball really well. As I say, they're clever. They all run the opposite way, and here come Burnley on the counter-attack, and it's Hannibal Mejbri. It's about a 5v3 here. Mejbri driving straight through the heart of the midfield. He goes alone. He sits a few players down onto his right foot. What on earth is Hannibal Mejbri doing? I mean, that is woeful from the former Manchester United midfielder who had so many options to the left and the right. He tried to do it all on his own, and he had his pockets picked. And here come West Ham straight away on the counter. Ball towards Jarrod Bowen. Vice comes away with it and wins his header. He's under pressure. He's gone to follow his own touch, and he clears it out for a throw-in. But I do not know what Mejbri was doing.
Yeah, he's remonstrating with his teammates now, which is another side of his game, which is unfortunate. He's got a great chance here to play, and one or two of them, though. I mean, probably the best one is Edwards on the right-hand side, and then he just chops back onto his left and then gets caught up in traffic. And yeah, I mean, that was very selfish, I think the word is. And then, Edwards complains, and then Mejbri's, arguing back that he did the right thing when he clearly didn't. So, unfortunate for Burnley, they couldn't capitalise on the counter-attack.
Yeah, it's not like Hannibal Mejbri to argue back, plead his case, as we see Jarrod Bowen applying pressure to Brun Larsen. Good defending from him. His clearance just evades his own man, though. And here's Kyle Walker-Peters driving forwards on this right-hand side. Step overs not once but twice, but he's forced back again. They're not taking many risks in attack at West Ham. That probably being for the fact that they've got the lead. It's a lot of backwards and sideways passes. Orford picks it up, though. He whips the ball into the area. Jarrod Bowen's first touch is poor. And here's Pablo, who takes it away from Jarrod Bowen. Maybe a bit frustrated there, the West Ham skipper, with his teammate. Ramsey looks to clear his lines. It's a hopeful long ball towards Edwards, who lets it bounce ahead of Scales. Almost boots him in the face, and Edwards has done really well to drive forwards. He's still going. Marcus Edwards cuts inside, tries to go onto his right, and that's much better recovering defending from Scales. Yeah,
but then Hannibal Mejbri's got a case to look at Edwards and say, you've done exactly what I did 2 minutes ago. And you've taken on that extra player in the penalty area that didn't need. There was a teammate up there to pass it to, Ramsey, and he's as selfish as Mejbri there. And it's something that it's like a disease that's going through the entire Burnley team. They're all trying to win the game on their own without playing as a team anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot of individual forward thinking so far. As we now see Mavropanos in possession, goes across towards Orford. Now he finds Kante. Kante in possession himself. Goes for Orford again. Looks for a ball over the top towards Castellanos. The header well won by Walker into his own penalty area, though, which could have potentially caused a problem. Fleming finds Ramsey driving forwards, looks back towards Fleming. Orford not once but twice stepping in, wins the free kick. He's been very steady, the youngster, so far in this one.
Oh yeah, I think he's obviously kept it simple, but he's been an effective cog in a really well-oiled machine that West Ham's midfield has been. I think probably Solomon and Bowen have been, the sort of flashier, the more outstanding players. Conte's been a steady influence as well, but Orford's played his part all right.
He certainly has. As we now see Scales goes to the left-hand side for Manor Solomon. Cuts onto his right boot, whips into the penalty. A dangerous ball in towards Jarrod Bowen. And I'm not sure if maybe Pablo's leap just ahead of him may have put him off, because it wasn't convincing from the goalkeeper at all. I don't know if he gets the slightest of touches, but a wicked delivery from Solomon.
Yeah, there won't be a better cross in the game than that from Solomon. It was absolutely pinpoint into an area where he had two players coming in at the far post, and maybe they did get in each other's way there, sort of. One's put the other off, and what should have been maybe a tap-in really for Bowen has ended up going behind for a goal kick.
As we now see the ball on the right, Sonner finds Kyle Walker, and yeah, it wasn't convincing from the goalkeeper Vice at all. Of course, wasn't their number one last season. It was Dubravka, who will now be playing second choice at Tottenham, you feel. So now see Humphreys goes across towards Vice, and Vice is going to go along with his left boot. Header into the middle for Kante again, who's got a lot of space to run into and go to the left for, and he finds Scales, who's got Kante ahead of him, uses Kante, who's darting into the penalty area, looks for a cutback towards Castellanos, takes a deflection, and out for a West Ham corner, who are still looking just as dangerous.
They are, yeah, and Burnley look a bit rudderless at the moment, and these are crucial minutes, before half-time, before Nicky Hine has a proper chance to sort things out at the break. If West Ham could score a second goal, this might be beyond Burnley to try and pull back from a 2-0 deficit. So they've got to hang on here at the very least to half-time at only 1-0.
As we now see the ball on the far side, ready for this corner to be whipped in, and it's hung towards the back post. Not a great delivery, it's over everyone. I tell you what, that skims off the head of Kyle Walker. Hannibal has to keep that in, and he does. Cuts onto his right boot, smashes it away forwards, but no one up there to aim for, and it's easily brought down by Mavropanos. Just felt like there's not really been much structure to Burnley when they're in possession today.
Yeah, the better moments have come on the counter-attack, haven't they, where they've broken play up in their own half and they've attacked with numbers. When they've actually had the ball and been asked to sort of try and break down West Ham, they've not done a great deal with it.
Yeah, Ramsey's been caught out trying there. A few too many flicks and tricks. Here's Orford, finds Manor Solomon into the penalty area, cuts onto his right boot, then onto his left. Good move, and then his strike is over the bar. And he was under a little bit of pressure. Solomon with the ball at his feet, he's pretty unstoppable so far in this first half. They can't take the ball off him on his weaker left foot with the strike. I don't mind the fact that he trusted the left foot as he tried to fake away from his man, but yeah, he puts it miles over.
Yeah, it was disappointing outcome there for Manor Solomon, but the way that Burnley gave the ball away there was just a perfect example of what we're saying. They can't play through West Ham. They're getting snuffed out in that midfield by Orford and Conte, and then when they do lose it there, then they could be in big trouble with the attacking quality that West Ham have got.
Yes, we now see Edwards driving forwards. He's been caught out, and a good foot in from Scarles. Kante goes to the right hand side to Walker Peters. Into Kante once again. Kante all the way back towards his goalkeeper Hermansen. Gives it back to his French midfielder. Kante under a bit of pressure from Ramsey, but he's going to carry it forwards. Finds Castellanos. Ball around the corner is unbelievable for Jared Bowen, who's racing through on the right hand side. He's got an option across. He didn't get his head up. That's really poor from Jared Bowen. Had to get his head up. Manor Solomon was free at the back post for a lot of time there, and Jared Bowen just couldn't pick the pass, and he wins the corner instead. Yeah,
disappointing that. It wasn't England quality, was it, from Jared Bowen? Of course, he didn't make the squad this summer, and he's run onto a ball in behind the defence there, and it was just an easy ball to roll across the 6-yard box because Solomon was coming on there for a free shot at goal.
Yeah, and just didn't trust his weaker right foot there, did Jared Bowen. This corner ready to be whipped in though, and it's a decent delivery headed away by Fleming, and back out for another one. Only 1 minute of added time, which makes sense. It's been a pretty free-flowing game of football so far between these two sides, as we now see this corner kick ready to be taken. Jared Bowen, they've of course scored from a corner from this side already. Bowen whips it in towards right on the goalkeeper, who doesn't deal with it convincingly initially, and then Manor Solomon wins it back, but there's going to be a free kick given away for a handball, and Solomon and Bowen almost just clattered each other.
Yeah, they're almost there now, aren't they, Burnley, in terms of getting to half time only with a one goal disadvantage, but it's been hanging by a thread, isn't it? It's precarious because West Ham have had countless opportunities to make it 2-0, just the wrong decision or the wrong pass in the end of the move.
Now see the long ball headed back by Mavropanos. That should be that for the first half, and it is going into the break at Turf Moor. It is Burnley 0, West Ham 1.
Half time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larsen, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way. But at half time, it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shots for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off really on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way, but at half-time it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way. But at half-time, it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances. Brun Larson, Ramsey with a couple of efforts wide, and Fleming with an effort over the bar. But at the other end, West Ham have had moments to kill the game off, really, on the counter-attack. Jared Bowen with the wrong decision. Shouts for a penalty that didn't go his way. But at half-time, it's 1-0. Half-time at Turf Moor in the Championship, where it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. An early goal from Max Kilman separating the sides. His back post header from a Jared Bowen corner. A real rare moment of quality in the game. Burnley have flattered to deceive. They've had one or two half chances.
Yeah, well, welcome back. Second half is about to get underway at Turf Moor. News of a substitution to bring you. It's come for the visitors, surprisingly, as their boss, Nuno Espirito Santo, has sent on a former Burnley player. Yeah, we were just checking to see whether James Ward-Prowse did play for the Clarets, and it was indeed last season when he was at Turf Moor, and he's replaced Pablo for the second half. I thought Pablo in the first half just looked like he kind of didn't belong in this West Ham team, and clearly Nuno Espirito Santo agreed.
Yeah, leaves a lot to be desired at times, does Pablo. Isn't the brightest in front of goal, doesn't link up that well. He's a hard worker, but is that what you want to be saying about your forwards as the main thing, that they're hard working? It really isn't. So yeah, it didn't really work for him in the first half, and maybe to add a little bit more control as well. But I say more control, they had a lot of control in the first half anyway.
Yeah, Burnley on the attack down the right with Edwards. Early stages of the second half, tries to force a crossing, but it's blocked by Scarles and out for a throw-in. To be taken by Oliver Son. In fact, no, the referee's changed his mind here on whether that was a Burnley throw or not. He's giving it the other way now. So Oliver Scarles will pick the ball up and prepare to promote it down the line. Just looking for somebody to move for him. Now he lobs it down towards Bowen. Bowen gets back and feeds it back to Scarles, who clears. It's headed forward by the Clarets, then cleared by Kilman. Ramsey tries to bring it down. Fleming now gets under control, feeds it back to Ramsey. He couldn't quite take it and shoot, and it bobbles back towards Hermanson, who's sprinting towards the edge of his box to try and release a teammate. Now finds a throw out to Walker-Peters. He gets to the halfway line, knocks it back. Orford slows things down. Bowen seems to be playing more centrally second half, so they've changed things around here, West Ham, at half-time. Nuno Espirito Santo seems to have tinkered a little bit. That's a pass inside from Castellanos. Kante chips it out to the left, brought down by Scarles. He now feeds it on to Solomon. Good cross into the middle of the penalty area, and it's headed behind for a corner.
Yeah, decent ball into a decent area from Manuel Solomon, but just didn't have that big number 9 really to aim for. Jared Bowen was steaming in from the back post run, but yeah, headed away by Elena, who didn't want to head it backwards. He almost tried to go forwards with it, but he just headed it all wrong, and it goes behind for a corner.
And something else we mentioned off air at half time is they need a better set piece taker than they've got. Hardly, there's not many better than James Ward-Prowse, who just come on for them, and he's going to take this corner from the left. Right-footed in swinger. And this one is sent in high towards the back post, punched away by Weiss, and out of harm's way it goes, and out for a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch. James Ward-Prowse, of course, made his name at Southampton. Scored a lot of free kicks, direct free kicks. In fact, I think he might actually still hold a record. I'm not sure about that. But ball's thrown in to Ward-Prowse, who sends it back to his ex-Saints teammate Walker-Peters. And now back to the halfway line they go. Mavropanos to Kilman. Back to the big defender. Slides it into the path of The lone striker, Castellanos, now. He's dispossessed by Elaine. Elaine runs it out of his penalty area. Plays it sideways to Walker. And Burnley just need to get a foothold in this game, get a grip, and start getting some kind of forward thrust going. They're going to try and do it now with Bashir Humphreys. Down the line it goes from Raghuba. Cleared by West Ham. Brought down by Elaine on the halfway. Passes it back to Carl Walker. Now Sonnet. As West Ham just sit in, waiting for the chance to break. Walker again. Takes his turn on the ball. Feeds it inside. And now Humphreys tries to get past Walker-Peters. Gets a pass away up towards Brun Larson, who's in an aerial challenge there with Walker-Peters, and he just falls in a heap, and the referee's not interested in his, well, fairly timid claims for a free kick, so it's just West Ham who now have possession. I don't think Nicky Hen can be too happy with how they've started the second half, Burnley. They're wasteful, they're looking still rudderless, and there seems to be no change in the game.
There's still a lack of structure for me for Burnley at the moment. There's not really a lot of promise when they have possession. They're struggling to get the ball off West Ham. West Ham have been brilliant at just keeping the ball in this game. They must have killed at least 10 minutes worth of football in that first half of just knocking it around. Been doing similar in this opening 5 minutes as well. It's game management, something that Nuno will know very well that is important in this league.
Yeah, they are the I think they are the favourites, aren't they, to go up this season, West Ham. But I wouldn't put them as favourites to score the most goals in the Championship this season. You know, they look like a team who are going to get a lot of 1-0s, going to grind out results, not necessarily overwhelm teams and win games like 5 or 6. There's a chance though for Edwards, who gets away from Scarles, who overcommitted. Edwards hasn't quite got the pace to get away from the cover though, and now he sets up a chance for the overlapping Sonnet, who's cut back into the penalty area. Is cleared away by Orford, and the danger is cleared. And now Tati Castellanos goes down. He's told to get up by referee Josh Smith. Burnley will try again from deep in their own half. Raghuba, sideways pass to Humphreys. Try down the line with Brun Larson. Brun Larson teasing Walker-Peters, goes on the outside of this time, puts a decent cross in towards Fleming, whose header's on target, but straight to Hermansen.
Yeah, it's not a terrible header from Zion Fleming, but he was coming in from a bit of a tight angle, facing away, had to head it down into the ground to generate a little bit of power off the turf, but it was pretty central in the end, so a save you'd expect Hermansen to make, but that's a little bit better.
Yeah, finally something going right in the Burnley attack. Isn't a counter-attack though for West Ham as Conte drives forward. He gets tackled by Sonnet, and the ball is passed back to Weiss. Now Walker trying to push his team up the pitch, finds Medjbury peeling out to the right hand side. Midfielder gets his head up, looks for a pass, has to go back to Sonnet. Now Walker-Peters feeds it on to Elaine. Elaine over the halfway line now. Ball out to the left for Brun Larson, whose good cross almost produced that equaliser a few minutes ago. In fact, seconds ago, really. Now Raghuba chips it out to the right. Intercepted by Scarles, but it's not a good clearance. It might fall to Edwards, who helps it on. Infield, though, Orford nods it clear. Only falls to Medjbury. He pokes it forward. Conte intercepts. Now there's a counter-attack chance for Solomon, with Orford outside him. Solomon's only looking inside though as he feeds it back to Conte. He slips as he receives the ball, gets back to his feet and knocks it back to Mavropanos. Burnley are now back in their out of shape formation. Ball being knocked around by the Hammers though, pretty comfortably. And they'll try, well, they look like they were going to come left again. They've gone back to the right. There are subs warming up again on the sideline. I think that was a Burnley sub who's just jogging over to the side of the pitch. Now ball goes out to the left for the overlapping Scarles. He's kept it in play down by the corner flag, feeds it in field, linked up there with Orford. Now Solomon goes back to Conte, and West Ham knock it back to the halfway line now. Mavropanos checks his options, goes wide right now via Walker-Peters into Bowen's feet. Pure control here from
West Ham, and Ian Hyen is urging his Burnley team to come forward and put more pressure on the Hammers players in possession. One of them is Mavropanos, who chips it into the channel looking for the run of Solomon, but tracking it well was Kyle Walker, and he eventually shepherds it back to his goalkeeper to pick it up. But Hyen is really animated on the sideline, trying to get his team up the pitch and sort of almost in the faces of the West Ham players.
Yeah, rightly so. This Burnley side have to play with a bit more confidence and aggression. Yes, you're newly relegated, but so are your opposition. As well as you see Edwards bombing forwards now, looking to get the better of his man, and Hannibal with a strike from distance. It's terrible from him. He's not had a great game.
Yeah, it was a bit too casual, I think, really, in the end, from Hannibal Mejbri. It just didn't look right the way he sort of addressed the ball. Having been set up by Edwards' thrusting run, and he never caught it right, and the heads immediately went down. And again, that reflects the sort of general lack of confidence in the Burnley camp, that all the heads went down as soon as that ball dribbled wide. But they have forced a turnover, a throw in after West Ham misplaced a pass at the back. So they've got a throw in level with the edge of the Burnley. So level with the edge of the West Ham penalty. They've taken it from the wrong place though, and the referee wants them to take it from further up the touchline. Eventually it comes in now from Humphreys. No, he's had a few stutters at it. Now he gets it in. Ramsey knocks it back. Walker inside the centre circle, tries to bring it forward. Nobody engages him, so he's got room to even run further if he wants to. He puts a cross in there towards Fleming, whose header on the run is over the bar.
Yeah, and that's a poor header this time from Zion Fleming, because he's aiming towards goal. His body positioning a little bit better, so he has to hit the target here. Kyle Walker, great ball in. Yes, he's quite far out, but it's a free header as well. He's not marked by Mavropanos. He's not challenged either. It's a great opportunity. It's a poor header, in my opinion. The power generates itself because of the cross. It's a poor header for me.
Yeah, he didn't keep it down. And like you say, he wasn't really marked at all by the West Ham defenders. There's a chance for Edwards now to put in a better cross as he gets into the box, falls over, knocks it back to Sonner. Sonner pokes it towards Mejbri. Mejbri thought about the turn, but he's held it up now and tries to release Sonner. Sonner's early ball into the 6-yard box is knocked away by Kilman. Comes back to Mejbri. It's better from Burnley though. Some sustained pressure coming from the home side now. The fans are starting to get behind them as they attack. Again, it's knocked out for a corner, I think, by Conte. It could be a throw-in right next to the corner flag. No, Mejbri's placed it for the corner, and I think he'll take it himself. They're just holding off on these substitutions because it looks like Nicky Hine wants to make a double change. He's got two players ready to come on, but he's going to make it now. He's going to send on Zeki Amdouni, and he'll be replacing Raguba in midfield. And who's the other change coming on now?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Josh Laurent and Amdouni. So Josh Laurent's going to be the like for like with Rakuba, and then Hannibal Mejbri making way for Amdouni. So an attacking change, just to add another body in attack.
Well, Mejbri looks fairly unimpressed with that change. He was about to take the corner and he got the news that he was being hauled off. So the corner will now be taken by Jakob Brun-Larsen. 12 minutes gone, second half. Still Burnley trail 1-0 to that Max Kilman header. Here comes the corner. Brun-Larsen's delivery to the back post. It's headed clear by Mavropanos. Picked up about 30 yards out by Burnley. And Amdouni gets his first touch. Looking for a 1-2 here. Tries to feed it back down the left-hand side. He's asked a lot there of Alain, who just about keeps it in. Has he won a corner? He thinks he has. Walker Peters says no, and the referee agrees it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, he's not too happy with that decision, Max Alain, and he can't believe it, but he's having to trot back all the way back to his centre-half position. Nicky Hine getting a little bit more frustrated as the minutes are going on with the facial expressions, a little bit like what we saw from Tonderecker in the opening game of the Championship today. And their 2-1 loss away at Watford as Hermansen goes long, but not really to anyone. West Ham losing a bit of control of this.
Yeah, they've... I'm not sure what's gone wrong with West Ham. But Burnley have imposed themselves in the last few minutes. Still haven't found a way to score the goal though. Maybe West Ham can just get back on track now with some possession. They knock it back to Hermansen, who's well outside his penalty area. Now Mavropanos, Walker Peters, linking up with Bowen. Nice 1-2. Still going here. He's got Ward-Prowse down the line. Bowen though picks it up in space and pings a pass out to the left-hand side for Scarles, who's going to stretch this pitch. Well, he asked a lot there of the full-back though, and it goes out for a goal kick. Another disappointing attack there for West Ham.
Yeah, disappointing from West Ham. I guess the leeway you can give them is, well, they've got the lead away from home in what would be one of the trickier fixtures of the season for most sides in going to Turf Moor. It's not going to be easy for many sides to come away with anything in that sense. So, yeah, it's about just maybe the game management aspect of it. The referee gets in the way, but play continues.
Yeah, because Burnley still have it. Over with Brun Larsen, good ball to Amdouni, who checks back and tries to take on his man. Still going, Amdouni's cross is deflected harmlessly into the hands of Hermansen. And it was Ward-Prowse who got back there to help out his full-back and did a decent job. No hurry here from West Ham to restart the game. Hermansen's put it by his feet and he plays it out finally now to Kilman. He goes long up towards Castellanos, who's beaten in the air by Walker's header. Drops to substitute Laurent, who does a little pirouette in the middle of the park and comes away with the ball over to the left, but the referee stopped the game because Castellanos has gone down with a head injury.
Yeah, head injury for the Argentine. He's been quiet today, hasn't he, Tati Castellanos? A real handful for defenders. He had a great game in the Cup last week against Portsmouth. He was far from the problem last season when he was brought in January. Yeah, it's a nasty elbow to the head from Kyle Walker. A painful one for Castellanos, but yeah, he's not been too involved today.
No, he's holding the back of his head. All right, I'm thinking he scored in the FA Cup FA Cup quarter-final, was it, against Leeds last season?
I think he did. I think he did pop up with one. Like I said, he was far from the problem last season for West Ham. Had quite a few goals under his belt, or a few goals in general under his belt in that spell. He's subject to a lot of interest, as expected. He was a prolific player in the Serie A with Lazio not long ago, so his level definitely is above the Championship. It's just a case of, will teams pay what they want, and is he willing to stay? I mean, he's made himself available for all pre-season and the 2 competitive games so far, so it makes you do feel like, if needs be, he would be willing to stay with the Hammers.
Well, he's back to his feet now after receiving some treatment on the pitch, and he'll have to go off for 30 seconds as play restarts with a drop ball to Burnley, taken on by Raguba. By Laurent, who came on for Raguba. Now it's back to Brun Larsen. Laurent again, strides forward. West Ham in a bit of a defensive shell here. I was going to say it's like a 4-5-1, but it's not, because they're a man down at the moment. And now cross comes in towards the back post. Chance for Fleming. Hits the post. It comes back to the goalkeeper. And Zian Fleming is so unlucky there.
So unlucky. And he can't quite believe that he's not turned it home to make it 1-0. And we're like, wait to see it back. And Solomon goes down under the challenge. But Zian Fleming, who's had chances in this game, it's maybe his 4th or 5th shot already. Edwards with the ball in another headed chance, and another one where you may be saying you've got to hit the target. It's a great opportunity. He leaps higher than Mavropanos, heads it down. It is unfortunate. Could have easily bounced off the post and in as well, because it came off the inwards part of the post, but into the goalkeeper's hands. Well,
he's absolutely out-muscled Mavropanos there by getting up early, hasn't he? He's got up early. He's got his hands over the top of Mavropanos to stop him from jumping, and that means he gets a sort of a clear header from behind the defender, but then it bounces onto the woodwork and straight back into the hands of the waiting Hermansen, who is so lucky. Yeah, it's probably more so that Hermansen is lucky than Fleming is unlucky there, because in the end he didn't hit the target. He's hit the post. Cleared by Alain, headed up in the air by Burnley, by West Ham, and now maybe a chance there on the edge of the penalty area. Bowen tries to unfurl a shot, it's blocked at source, poorly cleared there by Edwards, and Solomon has it now. Linking up with Scarles over on the left side of the penalty area, back to Conte. Conte misses out on a pass to Scarles, and a bit of a breakdown in communication there between those two, give the ball back to Burnley, but Burnley have got some momentum in this game now. They just need to put that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, they do. They need to just keep creating those chances. Zian Fleming's not going to keep missing if he gets there. As we know, he scored goals in the Premier League last season, and he scored goals in the Championship as well with the likes of Burnley and Millwall. So I've got to keep creating those chances. Get Amdouni involved that little bit more as well, because he's been bright, and here he is again since he's come on.
Yeah, spreads the play across to the right-hand side now for Olivier Son. Edwards carries it infield, then holds it up and spreads the play out to the left-hand side for Brun Larsen, who's jinking his way towards the penalty area. Still going, Brun Larsen sets it up now for the overlapping Humphreys. Humphreys has got behind the defence, and a good solid challenge comes in from Walker Peters to concede the corner.
Yeah, great defending from Walker Peters. He's so reliable. He's such a great fullback, in my opinion. It's Kyle Walker Peters, and you can see the Burnley crowd. They've just been lifted by these last 10 minutes or so. They're up for this one again.
They certainly are, and feels like Burnley could be in business soon if they keep playing like this. West Ham have got very defensive all of a sudden. Corner whipped in by Brun Larsen towards the near post, and there's the header, and it's off the line. It's Fleming again who's denied by a man on the line. A key defensive header there from underneath the crossbar to keep West Ham in front.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He's Zion Fleming. He's just almost kicked the post in aggression and anger. And yeah, he's getting annoyed with these chances that just aren't coming his way. I did just say if he keeps getting chances, he'll score one of them. Or maybe he won't. Maybe it's not your day, it's not your day. It's another headed opportunity. And it's great defending from Scals. He even ran off celebrating, thinking it was going in.
Yeah, again, it's on target from Fleming on this occasion. Had a lot of the goal to aim for from close in. Great corner from Burnley, but again they are denied a goal by some good defending. 65 minutes gone. West Ham hanging on now to a 1-0 lead. Didn't really think we were going to say that the way they played in the first half. Anything but hanging on there, but they really are now. Burnley have stepped it up here. And free kick to be taken from the centre of the penalty area by Hermansen, launched long. I think, Nuno Espirito Santo is only going to look at himself really as to why they've given away the impetus in this game, because the substitution he made, taking off a forward. We said Pablo wasn't playing very well. Ward-Prowse is tried and trusted, but Ward-Prowse has done nothing since coming on.
Yeah, he hasn't, and there's a bit of a problem here. Castellanos is going into the book. He's got his get back there on Kyle Walker. That was very much South American attitude from Castellanos. He remembered what had happened. He's now getting face to face with Zion Fleming. He pushes him as well. He's got to be careful because he's already getting a yellow card. Walker, yes, he made the most of the challenge from Castellanos, but he just caught the elbow to the head moments ago from Walker, and he's gone and given it back to him. And Castellanos, like we said, proper Argentine spirit there.
He's getting his lecture, as well as the yellow card from referee Josh Smith. We'll see it now. He had eyes on Walker coming in from the side, and it was clearly aimed. I mean, it's a cheap shot, isn't it? Yeah. He's not even challenging for the ball. He's just trying to knock him off his feet with a body check and send
so reckless
Walker down onto the nape of his neck or something like that. Yeah, it's a really cheap shot and deserving of a yellow card. We're back underway. We've reached the midway point in the second half, though. It's still Burnley 0, West Ham 1. Take through to full time now. It's going to be Kieran Graham.
Yeah, thank you very much, Size. We now see the ball with Elaine in possession. He's going to carry it forwards once again. Plays it into the middle for Ramsey. Ramsey in possession, drives forward, plays it in behind, and it's once again going to go through. Mavropanos wins it. And it's going to be cleared away as far as Humphreys. Humphreys lets the ball go out of play for a throw-in, and is throw-in ready to be taken by Burnley. Back in the possession of Humphreys again. He's going to look to chip it down the line. It's going to go back once more, and Burnley just looking after possession. They're enjoying their best spell of the game at the moment over these last 10 minutes or so. Edwards driving forwards now. He's still on the attack. He finds Sonner across towards Josh Laurent. Goes to the left-hand side for Elena. Kyle Walker, who's okay to continue after that poor challenge from Castellanos moments ago. Edwards driving at Scales, cuts into his left boot, whips it in. Not a great delivery, easily cleared away. It's been very hit and miss as Edwards in this one. Kyle Walker looking down the line, great defending. Ollie Scales has had a good game at left back. He's dealt with everything that's gone his way. Balling behind though, and it finds towards Josh Laurent, who clips it towards the back post. It's a bit overhit. I think it was that disguise that even his teammates didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah, it was. I don't think he looked up before he crossed it. It's almost like he just felt that there was somebody at the back post when they come in and there wasn't an available Burnley player there, so it looks a bit bad on Josh Laurent, but they're playing some nice football now, aren't they, Burnley? I think they've got to just keep persisting with the crosses. You know, West Ham have looked a little bit vulnerable to crosses. We've seen from set pieces and from open play now. Zian Fleming's had chances, and they've just got to get the right type of delivery into their striker.
Yeah, and Fleming with a strike from distance. He puts it wide in the end, about 30 yards out there was Zian Fleming. He's had about 7 shots in this game as Fleming, most of them with his head, and it's just not going for him at all.
Yeah, he's certainly not shy about trying his luck, is he, from range. I think it just goes to show you how much on top Burnley are now that their striker is getting regular looks at goal.
See a clip ball forward towards Castellanos, little shove in his back from Elaine. He takes a heavy touch as well. And it's going to go all the way through to Weiss. Ball to the left hand side for Elaine. Back towards Weiss once again. Weiss in possession, finds Elaine. 69.5 minutes on the clock. It is Burnley 0, West Ham United 1. Forward passes intercepted nicely by Ward-Prowse. Here's Konstantinos Mavropanos, formerly of Arsenal, where he never got too much of an opportunity. Walker-Peters in towards Jared Bowen. Good first touches from him. Switches played. They've all been pretty quiet, the attackers, this second half for West Ham. Jared Bowen included, but we now see Scales, who finds Manor Solomon. Gives it to Ward-Prowse, turns onto his right boot. He then finds Kilman. Kilman into midfield, where we see Bowen bundled over. It's going to be a free kick won by West Ham, a cheap one given away. Ward-Prowse, you think, will go over to potentially try and take this one. It's not a shooting position, it's definitely a crossing one. We wait for them to set up for this. It's going to be Ward-Prowse to take it, as expected. But, I mean, if you're a big centre-half and you've got Ward-Prowse as a teammate, you'll be licking your lips every single time you get a set-piece opportunity. Ward-Prowse ready to take it. Kilman and Mavropanos both lurking at the back post. Kante's got some real size to him as well, of West Ham, a tall holding midfielder.
Yeah, the way he's setting up, he looks like he's the blocker, doesn't he? Kante just stood in the middle, not really looking to run into, but he's trying to block off Burnley defenders.
Yeah, and the ball has been whipped in. It falls to Jared Bowen. His strike, I think, has hit his own man, who was on the floor in Max Kilman. And Kante's blocking job, it worked. It caused a few problems. He's on the right hand side. He's the Frenchman. Great footwork, great skill from Kante, who's still going himself into the penalty. He's still going. Looks for a cutback. It falls towards Solomon, who rifles it into the back of the net. And that is magic from Kante on the right hand side. He turned from blocker to provider. And Manor Solomon, who was the best player in the first half, makes it 2-0 on his debut. And that should be that.
I really think it is, yeah. What a killer for Burnley. You know, they were on top in this phase of the game. They give away a free kick. They defend the first phase of the free kick, but they're undone by a fantastic bit of footwork. I mean, you'd associate this kind of footwork with Manor Solomon, not Mohamedou Kante, but he provides the ball from which he's then deflected into the path of Solomon for the easy finish into the roof of the net. We're just seeing it again. You know, he was the blocker on the first phase of the free kick, then he gets into space and then gets in a one-on-one here with Edwards, and he's just too quick for him. I mean, Edwards doesn't even really make a decent effort of stopping him from getting around the back. He tiptoes around the back, keeps the ball in play, and then it's deflected from his cutback into the path of Solomon for the finish.
Yeah, and Solomon, he's going to be dangerous in this West Ham team. We already know it. We already know what he could do for such an expressive lead side. Like we said, double-digit goals, double-digit assists. He's going to get involved a lot. I think he's going to have a very similar season, if not, maybe even more, because I think he missed about 2 months for Leeds in that season with injury as well. And he's been absolute chaos, but Kante is showing a different side to his game there. The footwork and the skill to beat his man and keep it in play as well was not easy for a big, tall midfielder, and he did so, and the tails are up for West Ham, who are on the attack again. It's Jared Bowen onto the right-hand side, ball whipped in, they win a corner, and West Ham, I mean, the confidence is just oozing now.
Certainly is, yeah. Really has changed the momentum, that goal. Nicky Hyen is sat down now. He's looking at how he can maybe try and fix this game, or certainly try and tweak things back in Burnley's favour, but the momentum is all gone. The momentum they built up over 20 minutes or so of the second half has gone now with that goal from Manor Solomon.
Yeah, well, missed chances of Zion Fleming have come back to haunt them, really. As we see this corner ready to be whipped into a dangerous area. There's the heads are up. Headed away by Amdouni, still in the area. And then finally cleared by Brun Larsen after a poor touch from Max Kilman. 73.5 minutes on the clock. Burnley 0, West Ham United 2. Thanks to goals from Kilman and Solomon. And they're going to go all the way back towards their shot stopper in Hermansen, who has the ball at feet now. He plays it to the right hand side to Mavropanos. Back for Hermansen once again, who's in possession. Hermansen plays it through the middle looking for Orford, who's been a little bit more quiet in this second half. He had a good first half though, and Kyle Walker's going to let that ricochet out of play for a throw-in. So throw-in taken down the line quickly for Marcus Edwards, who's driving forwards, looks to turn away from his man, still going himself, and it's well intercepted by Orford. See that throw-in taken to Sonner. In the middle for Ramsey. Walker tries to put a foot in and he gets the ball back himself. Switches play with a nice switcher play for Humphreys. Brings it down. If Burnley want to get back into this, they'll need an answer pretty quick to try and make this game on. Castellanos battling, does really well. Not once but twice. He then finds the pass for Kyle Walker-Peters. Kante with an overlapping run, and Kante picks it up again, but it's good defending from Elaine, who just almost skipped past him with ease. And that one a little bit too easy to deal with. But Kante, what a game he's had as well.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. Made just 11 appearances in the Premier League last season. Obviously difficult for a young player in a struggling side, but you know, it's going to be hard to displace from this midfield. I mean, I think his link up with Orford as well. I mean, the two players that keep it simple, but they have got that quality, as we saw from Kante with the way he scored set up the goal.
He's going to see the ball on the right hand side with Marcus Edwards. Takes a heavy first touch, but it allows him to play it down the line. It's a heavy ball for Sonner, and that just sums it up, doesn't it, for Burnley? Because that is so poor from Marcus Edwards. We know the quality that he has, and he just hasn't shown it today. What a poor ball.
Yeah, it's. I'm just seeing a replay of the header that was cleared off the line by Ollie Scarles at 1-0. Crucial moment that, and just seeing it again in replay. It's actually come off the shoulder of Zian Fleming. So Zian Fleming, if he perhaps gets a cleaner contact, maybe Ollie Scarles can't keep that. It's ifs and buts and maybes, isn't it? But at 1-0, that was the chance for them to get back into the game, and now they're 2-0 down as they make a change now and send on another striker in Armando Broja. Yeah,
Broja coming on, and Lucas Pires. Maybe a change of formation. That's Pires, natural left back on for Humphreys, and Broja is on. And we wait for ball to go to the left hand side here. Ball in behind. Walker-Peters looks towards Mavropanos, looks for the pass in the middle. He doesn't pull it off, and we see them back on the attack again. It's going to be Broja with his first touches of the game. He plays it to the left hand side for Lucas Pires for his first touches as well. It's Brun Larsen looking for a cutback, takes a deflection out of play for a corner. Burnley looking to knock on the door late on. Just seeing pictures of Humphreys, who just made way, sat on the bench now in discussion with fellow substitutes. Elaine watching on as he trudges into the penalty area, push and shove it between Broja and Orford. We see the corner whipped in towards the front post, headed away by Jared Bowen doing his defensive work. Pires battling, no free kick given, and it's in the area. Striker goal takes a deflection, and they've given a goal kick here, and Josh Laurent can't believe that a goal kick's been given. It looked like it took a clear deflection. Maybe the referee's claiming it's taking a deflection off a Burnley man. It was hard to see on live viewing. It looked like a clear as day corner kick, but that's not been given, and that hasn't been the case here as we wait for this to be taken. The goal kick back underway now with Hermansen under pressure from the Albanian forward, and we don't see a long ball go all the way in behind. Header one, and Kyle Walker ricochets it back for Elaine, who's got Laurent for company, uses him, and Laurent coming forwards now, plays it to the left hand side. He's overhit it, and that is just so poor. Once again, Burnley, when they're trying to create the late chances, and the passing, the accuracy, the structure, once again, as we keep alluding to, just isn't there.
Yeah, it's gone to pot, hasn't it, for Nicky Hine, and I'm not sure his changes have really helped things a great deal. No, another foul in midfield. This is Bowen who's gone down, and Burnley getting frustrated. Now, it's Lucas Pires who's caught him, and then he's trying to help Bowen get back to his feet. He's thinking that Bowen's time wasting there, and now the West Ham players are trying to protect their skipper. It's all got a bit fractious, hasn't it? And looks like Burnley are going to go home with no points today, as we see shots of their chairman, Alan Pace. He's also got a club in Spain, hasn't he? Espanyol. I think they played in pre-season as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in that one. As we see Nicky Hyatt, he's brought back to his feet again. Of course, Burnley would have loved to have emulated what Vincent Kompany could do, or what he did with Burnley in the Championship. It's not going to be easy to do so. As we see a long ball up towards Castellanos, great touch to take it into his stride. 79 minutes on the clock. It is 2-0 to West Ham. As we now see the ball on the right with Walker Peters. Looks to get the better of his man. It's good work from Broja trying to win the ball back. And a back heel from Larson. Forward passing towards Amdouni. And then a ball down the line is intercepted. And here come West Ham on the attack of themselves once again. Jared Bowen goes across towards Manal Solomon. Here's Scarles on the left-hand side. Ball whipped into the penalty area, headed away by Kyle Walker and into the hands of Weiss, who gives a little bit of a shove to Castellanos, and it's a great ball out from the goalkeeper. And here come Burnley on the counter-attack. They're going to need one soon if they want to make this a grandstand finish. And as we now see, Broja switches play to the right-hand side for Sonner. Sonner now down the line for Edwards. Takes it into his stride. Finds Josh Laurent. Turns away. Plays it to the left-hand side for Lucas Pires, who's got no option to the left of him. That's Paul from Strand Larson. Ball whipped in. Is a poor one as well, and straight into the hands of Hermansen. And they just don't look dangerous enough, do they?
No. And that's even with two strikers on now. Two strikers who are target men, who can occupy defenders and be a real menace in the penalty area. They still aren't able to create much danger, and that is a problem, a structural problem, as you mentioned before. The wide players haven't delivered enough decent balls in. The midfielders haven't produced the right sort of quality to keep the flow going their way, and they've conceded 2 goals to put themselves on the back foot, so it's not looking like it's going to be their day at the moment.
Yeah, header away, only as far as Marcus Edwards, who takes it into his stride and plays it to the right, and wow, it is a bad pass. It is a terrible overhit pass. How many times have we said that about Burnley so far today with the overhit passes that just haven't gone their way? Change coming up for them, and it sees Jakob Brun Larsen making way, and he's going to make way for Mike Trezor. Well, this is an interesting one, because Mike Trezor was brought in a while ago. They got relegated. He refused to play for a whole season, basically, had injuries, didn't play at all really last season in the Premier League, and now he's willing to get involved again, and he's onto the field of play. On his day, fully fit, fully invested, would be one of the best players in the Championship, you'd feel. He's got such quality about him. As we now see the ball on the right-hand side, Edwards, and that's a strong challenge, and that's a penalty for Burnley, and Ollie Scarles dove into the challenge. He really didn't need to in the wide area. He's claiming he won the ball, but the reckless nature of it, he may have given Burnley a lifeline.
Yeah, he's probably ruined his man of the match chances with that one, hasn't he? It was a reckless decision. He has caught Edwards. Edwards flies in the air and then holds his ankles. The referee was not going to miss that foul. Just a stupid decision from Ollie Scarles, and it's given Burnley a way to get back into the game now.
Yeah, that is just woeful, isn't it, from Ollie Scarles, who's had a great game as well, but he gives away the penalty, so an opportunity. Interesting to see who takes it. You think probably Zion Fleming, but Broja may fancy it off the bench. Amdouni's got the ball in hand. He's going to leave it to the main man, though. Zion Fleming, heavily linked with a move away this summer after a decent Premier League season. Can he kick off his Championship campaign with a goal on another day? He could have had about 4. So let's see if it is going to be his day or if it is the definition of not. As Zion Fleming with the ball in hand, he puts it down, ready to take this penalty spot kick. Hermansen trying to make himself big in the goal, trying to do what he can to put off Zion Fleming. If he dispatches of this, it's going to be a big moment. He steps up and he does. He rolls it into the far bottom corner, and he absolutely launches Hermansen into the back of the net, because Hermansen's trying to slow play down, but it is game back on.
Yeah, he's going to get booked here, Fleming. In fact, he might even get sent off because he's absolutely lost his rag. We saw it before when he kicked the post after missing that header chance. He's gone in to try and win the ball back quickly to get the game going again, and he's smashed into Hermansen, who was trying to pick the ball out of the back of the net. The referee has got the yellow card out, but it could so easily have been worse because then he got surrounded by players and he was pushing and shoving. He could have got 2 yellow cards in the space of a minute there.
Yeah, he really could have done, but I mean, I get the frustration. I mean, Hermansen's gone to time waste, so that's a yellow card for time wasting in himself. So the goalkeeper should be booked. I don't know if he has been. And yeah, then everyone gets involved, but I think if you're Burnley, that's perfect. Get this game riled up, get the crowd involved, and they are well and truly back in it. And like I said, on another day, Fleming could have had about 4 or 5.
Yeah, and that's probably added to his frustration and his temper at the moment. But he's got to control that temper, or else he'll get himself sent off.
Yeah, Hermansen has been booked, so good refereeing, in my opinion. The right decision, booking both players, Zion Fleming on the score sheet, and put into the book within a few seconds of each other. And the tells will be up now for Burnley. They'll be well and truly up for this one. That's a terrible touch from Perez, who just about keeps him playing. No, he doesn't.
Oh dear.
And that's brought back down to reality. That's the Burnley that we've seen all game.
Yeah, Perez has looked off it since he came on a few minutes ago, hasn't he? Yeah, just making too many little errors that have led to big issues.
Yeah, Jared Bowen with a poor touch, cleared away by Elaine up towards Fleming, who backs into his man. It's good forward play, but a poor touch from Brozier, and then a really poor clearance from Mavropanos. That's not like him. And then here come Burnley, but cleared away by Mavropanos on the second time. Nicky Hyen getting involved in a good bit of ball boy work from the Burnley gaffer. As the throw-in's been taken towards Amdouni, switches it to the right-hand side. It's over, hit again. That pass has happened so many times from Burnley in this one. I mean, that is just so poor, and he's so much better than that.
Yeah, it didn't need to be forced so quickly, did it? And Sono just, I mean, he really struggled to control it, and he just got away. And now the foul throw, or taking too long over the throw. Ollie Scarles seems to be rattled, and he's given Burnley the chance to throw it in now.
God, he's having a torrid time, isn't he? Ollie Scarles over these last few minutes. The pressure's well and truly ramped up on him. Walker takes it quickly towards Brozier. They'd all lined up for a long throw. Lovely 1-2. Brozier on the right hand side whips it in. It's a poor delivery. It's a striker's cross, incidentally, from Brozier. Manos Solomon takes a chance in his own area, plays it off his man, and that's good work from the Israeli international. He's asking to come off. Is Solomon? Maybe he's not that keen on doing the defensive hard yards of the remainder of this one, but he's going to make way, and he's probably been my man of the match. He's been quality.
Yeah, it's El Hadji Malik Diouf who's coming on for Ollie Scarles at this point, so that's just a like-for-like change at left back. Experienced campaigner, maybe somebody who's got transfer talk swirling around him as well. Perhaps that's why he's not started today. But Scarles did okay until the last 5 minutes or so, where he gave the penalty away and his head seemed to lose a bit of confidence there. But Solomon wants to come off, but they decided to keep him on for the time being. Maybe they haven't got the sub ready for him to be replaced by yet.
Yeah, probably not. And manager, you'd expect him to move on. That's why he's not playing, because he's a great left back, and he's been subject to a lot of interest from the Premier League and elsewhere. As we now see the ball central with Josh Laurent, 87 minutes on the clock. Have we got the grandstand finish set up? As we see Broha goes to the left hand side for Perez, back to Armando Brozier again. Turns away from his man. Good turn as well to get away from Orford. He's still going. He's Brozier. He finds Perez in towards the middle for Mike Treasure, and that's a terrible pass from Perez. Again, Castellanos has been taken down, and he wins the free kick. And once again, it's Burnley's passing that's letting them down.
Yeah, just lacking a little bit of quality, a bit of composure there. I still think they just need to get crosses in, just bombard that West Ham penalty area crosses and see what comes of it. The change they're going to make is Veltman on, I think, for Solomon.
Yeah, Veltman coming onto the field of play. Brought in this summer in a really shrewd bit of business. Cheap deal from, of course, from his long spell at Brighton. Long ball up towards Jared Bowen, battling with Perez, only as far as Elaine. Plays it down the line. Back for Lucas Perez again. He takes his throw in. Goes all the way across towards Kyle Walker, who's going to bomb forwards with it. And he's driving into potentially the opposition half. Plays it across square for Josh Laurent, who's seen a lot of the ball since he's come on. He's been nice and steady in this one. We now see Broja goes to the left-hand side for Perez, takes it out of his space, finds Josh Laurent, who's going to hit it from distance. It almost goes through, and it almost finds Zion Fleming and Oliver Sonner in the penalty area, but it trickles wide.
I think Sonner thinks that Fleming's going to convert this, and he almost is expecting Fleming to convert it and doesn't throw a leg at it. Yeah, he's just not there, is he? He should be sliding in for that.
Yeah, he should be. I think maybe Sonner was just offside. Fleming definitely wasn't, and that change made Manos Sullivan making way for Joel Veltman now to try and see out this one. And what a debut from Sullivan.
Yeah, they'll have to switch things around. Veltman, he's clearly not a left winger, is he? He can play multiple positions, centre back, right back, defensive midfield, but he's not a left winger, so somebody's going to have to go out there now.
Yeah, it looks like Juve is just going to go a little bit ahead potentially. Oh, Walker Peters has actually moved across to left mid, which essentially means 2 left backs with how they're going to defend for the remainder of this one. And as we now see Ward Prowse turns away from his man, loses out to Trezor, who gets a little bit fortunate, falls to Perez in the penalty area, looks for a cutback. Good bit of defending from Joel Veltman, using his experience straight away to get involved. Amdouni onto his left boot, goes for goal, it's just over. He got some wicked connection on that, did the Swiss international, but it was a little bit central. Even if it was on target, you'd expect the keeper to save it. But he got some real thunder and power on it, but it's over the bar.
Yeah, he got away from Conte and drove a shot in with some real swerve on it. Got underneath it, it was dipping, but it just dipped a bit too late into the fans rather than into the top of the net.
Yeah, play for a goal kick which has been taken quickly up towards Castellanos, and he loses out to Kyle Walker, back towards Weiss, who finds a lane, and we just hit the 90th minute of this one. How much added time do we have ahead of us? Potentially quite a bit. It's going to be another 5 minutes, like we saw in the first. It's going to be Amdouni driving forwards. Amdouni coming forwards, finds Trezor, a lane in towards Kyle Walker, goes to the right hand side for Edwards. He's up against Walker Peters, cuts inside onto his stronger left boot, ball towards the back post. He's gone down, they're claiming for another penalty. They're not going to get it, and they're going to get the corner instead.
Yeah, it was just a tangle of legs, I think, really, so he's not going to get that decision, but they have got the corner.
This corner ready to be taken now. Marcus Edwards with that decent delivery. Seen it again. It was Jared Bowen with a bit of a clumsy chance, maybe not enough in it. Amdouni looking for it in that sense. It's going to be Trezor ready to take this one into the penalty area, right on the goalkeeper as well. Good punch from Hermansen, headed back in from Sonner, and he's not cleared, and it's Fleming with a strike. Can barely have done it, and it's Zion Fleming who's back at it again. And on another day, it could have been 6 for him, but he's got a brace. The man who's subject to a lot of interest. Well, it's not fazed him. He's got the double. Nicky Hyan is going wild with the Burnley fans. West Ham have thrown away a 2-goal lead, and they've not bothered celebrating. They want more.
Yeah, this is so frustrating from West Ham's point of view. But Burnley, they've just kept on going, haven't they? You know, and in Fleming, they've got a striker. Yes, he's missed chances, but he just keeps on going. And this one, it forced him in the penalty area, and you had no doubt this was going to go in the back of the net. That was just, you know, rifled into the low bottom corner there. Punched away initially by Hermansen, then fed back in there. It's actually a lane who does really well just to keep it alive. Was it Humphreys, was it?
Yeah, it's a lane. It was a lane. It really good from him, because he could have given up on that. It was just a bit of a percentage header back in, and he just made his body useful ahead of Max Kilman that he couldn't get a proper clearance. I'll tell you what, 3 minutes left. Imagine we find a winner in this one. We now see Juve in possession. Well, the defensive subs haven't worked for West Ham, that's for sure. Walker Peters finds Kante. He'll be frustrated after his bit of skill is now cancelled out. Here's Kyle Walker Peters on the left-hand side, having to act as an attacker. He's driving forward still, picks a pass for Castellanos, and here's a chance for West Ham. It's Juve on the left-hand side, whips it in towards the back post. It's a bit overhit. Castellanos with the acrobatics, trying to keep it alive. Somehow he has. Walker Peters goes down on the edge of the box. No free kick. That would have been in a dangerous area. And Burnley have won it. And here come Burnley on the counter-attack with a lot of bodies flying forwards. It's Mike Trezor into the West Ham half. Overlapping run from Perez. He's ignored. We now see Broja, who's got Fleming to the right. He ignores him. He's giving himself the Albanian to the left. Once again for Perez. Plays it into the area in a complete lapse of concentration. If you're Fleming, you're raging with Broja there.
Yeah, it needed a better pass, didn't it? A bit more composure. But again, you look at what's gone on here in the last few minutes, and there's only one team going to win this now, isn't it? You know, West Ham have gone ultra defensive. You know, the defensive changes by Nuno Espirito Santo. I'm not saying that, you know, it's all his fault by doing that, because his players clearly haven't turned up. Similar to England in the World Cup, isn't it? You go defensive and you get done, you know, and that's exactly what Burnley's done. They've gone offensive, set another striker on, set more creative midfielders on, and they've got themselves potentially a point from a losing situation now.
Yeah, exactly that, and it's going to be a valuable point as well. And the Burnley fans are in full voice. They'll be praying just one more chance is all they need, but it might be West Ham to get the final chance. Here's Walker-Peters. What an ending to this game it's been. Malik Diouf hangs it up into the area, well cleared away by Kyle Walker, who's got better as this game's gone on. He had a bit of a torrid first half, and what has Diouf just done there? He's given it straight to Fleming, who's driving forwards, and he's taken a yellow card as the Senegalese international. And I mean, wow, he was good last season, but that's not a great introduction.
Yeah, that was just generally very lazy from El Hadji Malik Diouf. You know, once he lost the ball, there was no intent to get back goal side. He just thought, I was going to kick him and bring him down.
It was kind of just jogging back, wasn't it? There was no real want to get back there, and there's a bit of cramp for Zion Fleming, who stayed down and maybe just killing the time a bit so they make sure they get the final chance here. And we're just seeing it back. It took a couple of deflections, didn't it, the strike from Fleming, but yeah, we said it was either going to definitely not be his day, or he's going to find a way for him to be his day, and he has done.
Yeah, I think he kicked it into the ground. You know, he wasn't necessarily a clean strike, but I don't think he took a deflection necessarily off any Burnley player on its way into the net. It was just off the pitch, you know, kicked into the ground and sort of bobbled in a little bit, but plenty of power nonetheless. And it was right in the corner. But yeah, if there was a Burnley player going to score today, it was going to be him. I'm not sure the rest. You know, how many shots on target they've had? They probably had about. He must have had almost 90% of the shots on target today.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly find out. He's still receiving treatment at the moment, and he has had quite a few shots. I mean, Zion Fleming's had 9 shots today. The closest to him is Jarrett Bowen, Solomon and Ramsey, all on 3, and Fleming has had 4 of them on target, because quite a lot of them have trickled right with their others.
Yeah.
So 4 shots on target for Burnley today, and they've had 5 on target in total. So
yeah, it's 80% of the shots on target.
Spot on. Yeah, he's had all the chances and he's scored the goals. You can understand why he's subject of interest. Had brief links with Leeds and Brentford over the last week or so, both actively in the striker market, I believe. As we now see the free kick gone to the left, that's poor from Burnley. When you could potentially put everyone forwards, they've booted it straight out for a throw-in for a whole minute over time. I mean, we've had a great couple of games today. Myself and Simon. The first one, Watford-Southampton, was a great watch. This has been a great watch as well. Here come Burnley on the attack, though. It's not over just yet, despite being over time. There might be time for one more chance. Josh Laurent happy to just take his time to find Sonnet. Now it's back towards Kyle Walker. Turns away to the left-hand side. Heavy pass for Elaine. He finds Pires. It's actually Trezor in possession. Turns it into Brohu. Almost falls over it off his first touch. Keeps it alive though. 1-2 between Trezor and Pires. And now see Elaine. Turns away. Finds Kyle Walker. Referee's got the whistle to mouth. And that is going to be that at Turf Moor. Well, a blockbuster finish in a great game. It finishes Burnley 2, West Ham United 2. Thank you for joining.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.